Howdy folks, Jabberiki here. E.T. is a children's film that I did grow up with, and it was one of my favourites to watch. But surprisingly, I've not rewatched it as an adult, until I decided to review it for this show. So, does it hold up well? Let's find out. In E.T. the Extraterrestrial, a little boy called Elliot ends up befriending an alien who is stuck on Earth, and he names him E.T. With support from his siblings, Elliot helps E.T. contact his home planet. However, government agents are investigating the local area, and they begin spying on Elliot's family, who happen to be going through a divorce. Before I begin, keep in mind that this is a review of the 1982 version of the film. So don't expect me to discuss the changes that Spielberg made in the 2002 20th anniversary special edition recut. I want to review this film as it was originally intended. Anyway, there's a reason why Spielberg is a household name. He has a commercial appeal, but he's also very artistically expressive. He uses clever visual techniques to communicate with the people watching his film, even when the target audience is made up of children, and I really respect that. It's amazing how this film gets things across, trusting those watching to have the patience and intelligence to understand the story being told on screen. It's a movie that's directed with gentle sophistication, taking its time to let scenes play out organically, resulting in a pacing that feels natural but also atmospherically engaging. It helps that Spielberg is working with a really strong script from writer Melissa Matheson. Matheson knows when to let the visuals speak for themselves, uses verbal cues sparingly, and writes very authentic dialogue. When I watched this family interacting at home, I believed in the realism of their scenes, because it's like we're looking through a keyhole into an everyday family, one that's going through a divorce.
It's your turn to do the dishes, fellas.
I set and cleared.
I set and cleared.
I did breakfast.
I did breakfast.
What's the matter, Mom?
It's Mexico.
Damn it, why don't you grow up? Think how other people feel for a change.
That's the thing. This film isn't just about a boy meeting an alien, it's also about a family dealing with parental separation. It does help that Spielberg himself grew up with divorced parents, and you can really tell that he's drawing from experience to make the story feel real. It's E.T. who helps little Elliot go through the complicated feelings that come with parental divorce, by giving him an adventurous purpose that empowers him but also pushes him into a role of responsibility. Sometimes, a fun distraction can serve as a healthy way of dealing with pain or sadness, and what's more fun than helping an alien get home? E.T. himself is a very divisive character. Some people want to cuddle him, others find him to be too scary. Heck, my younger brother had nightmares about him nearly every night as a kid. Personally, I really love him. He's adorably sensitive and quirky, but there's something beautifully intelligent about him too. I love his curiosity about Earth culture and how he uniquely responds to things he inspects. Also, who can't relate to his love of food? But I do get why some people find him to be creepy. The way he shrieks in panic is kind of spine-chilling. His voice is eerily raspy.
Elliot. I taught him how to talk now. He can talk now. Elliot.
And it's a little intimidating how his neck erects sometimes. I can forgive these things though, because they're traits that he can't control, and he's actually a very friendly alien once we get to know him. E.T. and Elliot's friendship in the film is incredibly moving. You can see so much love and compassion between them. They truly care for and trust each other. Their bond is so strong that it becomes psychic. Meaning, whenever E.T. is in pain, Elliot shares his suffering. There's something beautifully supernatural about that level of emotional bond.
E.T., stay with me. Please stay together. I'll be right here. I'll be right here.
But the film does have enough of a sense of humour to find the comedy to their telepathic connection. by showing how E.T. getting drunk at home affects Elliot during his science lesson at school. Luckily, Elliot isn't alone during his adventure. His brother Michael and sister Gertie are also brought in to help E.T. get home too. I do really like how these siblings were written. They behave how you'd expect, the mean older brother and the annoying little sister, but they do develop a genuine compassion for the little space guy, grow a newfound respect for Elliot as a brother, and also see this experience as a way to deal with the family's divorce. One thing I really have to commend about this film is its child acting. Spielberg is renowned for being wonderful with the children he works with. He'll help make the filmmaking experience fun for them, but he'll also coach them while they act on camera. Sure, these kids are no Laurence Olivier or Meryl Streep, but man, you can really see that they are putting their all into their performances, and that Spielberg is helping them tap into authentic emotions.
Look at what they've done to you. I'm so sorry. You must be dead. Because I don't know how to feel.
The children were also allowed to improvise lines, and I think this adds a realistic dimension to their characters, because some of the dialogue is coming from the kids' own personal observations and thoughts.
Coke. See, we drink it. It's a drink. You know, food. These are toys. These are little men. This is Greedo, and then this is Hammerhead.
I also like how Spielberg brings the camera down to the children's point of view too. Not only does it give the child actors an advantage, but it also really helps to bring the adults in the audience to the kids' level, so we can empathise with them and see things from their perspective. So, what about the puppetry for this movie? It's pretty dang awesome! E.T.'s puppet was designed by Carlo Rambaldi, who also created creatures for Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Alien. E.T.'s puppet looks strange and animalistic, but also adorably innocent too. It finds the right balance of visually appealing and believably paranormal. Rambaldi drew inspiration from the faces of such old men as Einstein, Carl Sandburg, and Ernest Hemingway to capture E.T.'s wiseness. The gangly awkwardness of the puppet actually works to the film's advantage too, helping to make the character look like a creature from outer space. E.T. was puppeteered by many different people. Stunt persons Tamara Dutroux and Pat Billon brought E.T.'s walk cycle to life. A young boy called Matthew Demerit, who was born without legs but had a knack for walking on his hands, played E.T. during the more physically demanding scenes. While professional mime Caprice Roth provided the gestures for E.T.'s hands, using her talents to create unique quirks for E.T.'s fingers. And a team of animatronic puppeteers were in charge of E.T.'s facial expressions, which are remarkably fluid. The effort really shows, as we totally believe that this character is alive, because every performer uses clever nuances and techniques to capture E.T.'s intellectualism, innocence, and silliness. The voice for E.T. is wonderful too. E.T. sound design artist Ben Burt used a variety of animal and human sound effects to bring life to E.T.'s vocals. Burt's sound effects really do make E.T. come across as a living, breathing organism because we can hear so many relatable noises coming from him. Credit should also be given to an electronically filtered Pat Welsh for providing E.T.'s spoken dialogue. Welsh was a retired radio soap opera actress who happened to live down the street from the studio. Welsh's raspy chain smoker voice adds a strange, otherworldly nature to E.T.'s speech. To conclude, I think that E.T. definitely holds up and deserves to be recognised as a milestone in cinematic history. It's charmingly whimsical but also sophisticatedly directed. I've been Jamboree, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then feel free to subscribe to my channel because I make a lot of videos quite like this one. Also consider supporting me by making a monthly pledge to my Patreon in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. So, what am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Puppet Panic? Well, remember last year when I reviewed Godzilla from 1954, the original masterpiece? Well, I think it's time we carried on this franchise as I review its sequel, Godzilla Raids Again. Cheerio, folks.